Hi friends, my name is Mailynn and welcome back to my channel. I'm a flutist, performer, and music teacher located in the city of Kamloops, British Columbia, and this is my channel where we learn all things flute, so thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, we'll be learning how to play one of the famous nursery rhymes, Humpty Dumpty, so if you're interested, then just keep on watching. As always, if you have any questions about the video, please feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. Also, if you have any issues when it comes to practicing, feel free to check out my free practice guide, also located in the description down below. It gives you 8 really easy steps to follow to help guide your practice sessions. Alright, so let's just get right into today's video. So again, I am taking this specific version of Humpty Dumpty from 8notes.com. Again, not sponsored, I just really like their website and their resources, so there's a link to this specific song again in the description down below for you if you're interested in downloading it. I am going to put up the music right over here, and we're going to go through our first 6 starter bits before getting into clapping and counting and playing the piece. Alright, so number 1, we're going to be looking at our key signature. So if you take a look in between the treble clef and our time signature, we do have 1 flat. So that means we can either be in F major or D minor. We're going to take a look to see if we can figure out which key it is in. So we're going to take a look at the beginning, the first note and the last note to see if we have that tonic, which is F. So we don't start on an F, however we do end on an F, so that would highly suggest that we're in F major. We'll take a look to see if we can see any indications of the minor key, which would be D minor. Again, how you find the minor key to the major key is you can either go 3-letter names, so F, E, D, or you can also go up 6, so F, G, A, B, C, D. For the minor key, we're always going to search for that raised 7, so it would be C sharp. So we'll see if we can see any C sharps. I don't see any, so I'd say we're in F major, which we are. Number 2, we're going to be looking at our time signature. So we see we are in the 6/8 time. The top number tells us how many beats we have per measure, so we have 6 beats per measure, and the bottom number tells us what note type those beats are. So an 8 represents an 8th note, so that means we have 6 8th notes per measure. So how we like to count this is I like to count it as if each bar is 2 sets of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the best way to think about it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 3, we're going to be looking at our time signature. So here we have allegro written in. Allegretto means quickly, so that means that we can play dotted quarter note. Can be anywhere from 92 to 110. So we'll take it at a nice tempo here, and we're going to be playing it at dotted quarter note equals 98. This might be a little bit too fast for you when you're, especially if you're first learning this piece. So what I would do is when I go to the clapping count, I would go into the playback settings and slow it down so that you can play at a tempo where it is most comfortable for you to play without any mistakes. Alright, so number 4, we're going to be looking at our dynamics. So we do have only 2 or 3 things written here. So we start with an MF, that means mezzo forte, which means moderately loud. So you have that all the way up into end of bar 6 into bar 7 where we have a crescendo, and we end on an F, which is forte, which means loudly. And then number 5, we're going to be looking at our articulation. So we don't have too much. We only have some slurs. So that means we're not tonguing any notes on bar 2, bar 4, and bar 6. We have those slurs over the 3/8 notes. And then same thing, it's going to be at bar 7 where we have the slur over the quarter note and the 8th note. And then we still have that same 3 slurred at the end. And then number 6, we're going to be looking at our roadmap. So I'm just going to quickly scan to see if we have anything crazy here. If we have any repeats or decapos, which we don't, so we're just going to be reading it from the top to the bottom. Alright, so let's get into clapping and counting the piece. Again, I'm going to be clapping this at the final tempo, so that means it might be a little bit too fast for you. So go back into the playback settings by clicking the gear, playback settings, and then slowing it down so you can clap along at a tempo that is slow enough where you're not making any mistakes. Once you're comfortable with that, then I would slowly increase the tempo with your metronome, and maybe every 2 clicks every day, depending on how you're able to work on the piece until you're at the tempo where you want to be at. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so it's definitely on the faster side. So again, playback settings, slow it down until it's a tempo where you feel very comfortable clapping and counting that, and then slowly increase it as you get more comfortable with it. So now I'm going to be playing this one on the flute. So this one, the note range is going to be from that low A up to that B flat, the high B flat. If you're having any issues when it comes to the fingering, check out the fingering chart that I list down below. I won't put it in this video here, since this is for a late beginner, early intermediate player. You should be comfortable knowing all these notes without me going over it. Alright, so here we go. We're going to be playing it again. A dotted quarter note equals 98. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Alright, very nice. So again, if this is way too fast for you, go back, slow it down to as slow as you need it. And of course you can go into using the metronome here and having it count out each of those beats if you want to. So really slowing it down to, like, for an example, you can use an eighth note equals 126. So that means you can use the metronome to count out every eighth note. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For example, to get that at a tempo where it can feel a lot more comfortable until you can get it up to that allegro tempo. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video. It is going to be nice and short and sweet, so I hope you enjoyed it. This doesn't have an accompaniment, so hopefully you find exactly what you're looking for. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I answer them as soon as I see them, and if you have issues with your practicing, check out my free practice guide. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me here today. It was a pleasure to be with you, and as always, happy fluting!